Today I have a quick review and demo on these new Stila palettes that just came out this past weekend. It's a set of palettes with 12 eyeshadows. I got mine at Ulta and I was not going to buy them because I feel like they're so similar to other palettes that I have from Stila, but just the combination of the palettes and the way they put certain eyeshadows together made me give in and buy them. So there's 4 total, but I just decided to go with 2, and there's another one that's very similar to one of the ones that I got. But for right now, if you guys want to see how I created this makeup look using the palette Mind, which is an all matte palette, and if you guys want to see reviews and swatches of all these at the end of the video, then stay tuned after the tutorial, and I'll see you guys after. Bye! So for the first eyeshadow that I'm going to go in with is this pale peachy eyeshadow. It's kind of like a nude peach, and I'm just going to put that all over my eyelid as a base eyeshadow. And I'm using a Real Techniques, what is it, deluxe crease brush. It's a round brush like this. So the next eyeshadow that I'm going to go in with is this one right here at the bottom, and it's a Sigma Tapered Blending E40 that I'm going to be using for that. And I'm just putting this all over my crease. The next shade that I'm using is this almost soft brown, really light peachy soft brown shade. It's such a gorgeous color for the crease, and I'm using the exact same E40 brush, and I'm putting this on my crease. So next I'm taking these 2 shades up here, which is, this one is a gray and this one is like a soft, almost soft purple mixed with brown. And I'm going to be mixing those 2 to put on the lid. And I'm using for that a Sigma Eye Shading E15 brush. And just for a little like added color, I'm gonna be using this warm, where's that? This warm, like deep orange shade, and I'm gonna be putting that on with a Sigma Blending E25 brush, and I'm using this on the crease. So next, I'm going to go ahead and use my Maybelline Define-A-brow in dark blonde, and I've been using this for about, I want to say like a week or 2, no, like 2-3 weeks probably, and I've been loving this. It's the closest thing that I have found that comes close to the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil, and it's very thin, so I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows with this right now. So now that my eyebrows are done, I'm going to go ahead with this matte white up here, and I'm going to be putting that underneath my eyebrow as a highlight. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Makeup Forever Aqua Liner in black. So for underneath the eye, I'm going to go ahead and with this shade right here, which is almost like a red brown. It's such a gorgeous color, and I'm going to be putting this on with a Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush. And I'm just going to put this as close as to my lash line as I can. And the next shade that I'm using is that soft brown shade that I showed you guys earlier. And I'm going in with the Sigma Blending E25. And I'm just going to blend out the eyeshadow that I put on right here. So now that I'm pretty much done with the eyes, I'm just going to go ahead and wipe away any eyeshadow that might have fallen down underneath. I don't really see any, but I'd rather just be safe than sorry because I don't want it to blend in with my concealer. So I'm using a little clean cloth thing. I don't know what they're called. And I'm using the Clinique Take the Day Off makeup remover. And I'm just going to go ahead and wipe. So now for concealer, I'm using two of my favorite drugstore concealers, and these are from Maybelline, and they're the Fit Me concealers, and I'm using number 20 and 25 just because I don't want that. 25 gives me a natural just look, and 20 gives me more like a highlight look, so I want to just put them together and even the color out. So I'm going in with number 25 and just applying it like that, and then going in with number 20 and just kind of going over it. And I'm using to blend that out the Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer number 57, and I'm just gonna blend all of that together. And to set my concealer, I'm using my Hourglass Ambient Dim Lighting Powder in Dim Light. And I'm using the Sigma Tapered Highlighter in F35. And to set my face, I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte. You guys could barely see that. There's like no name on it, but I'm already hitting pan on this one, and I'm using my Echo Tools. It's like a small little kabuki type of brush. It's a travel size, and I'm just setting my whole face with this. So next for my waterline, I am using the Too Faced Perfect Black eyeliner, and I'm just going to be putting this on my tight line and my waterline. So next, to bronze out my face, I'm using my Maybelline Master Bronze, and this one's number 330 Paradise Bronze. And to apply that, I'm using the Sigma Large Angled Contour F40. And now to contour my nose, I'm using the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. And I've been loving this brush to contour with, like my nose, to put eyeshadow on my crease. It's a great brush. And now to contour, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me powder. And this is not an actual contour product, but I love the way it blends, and it's a nice substitute for a contouring powder. So I'm using number 360, and it doesn't have a name. Oh, I think it's Mocha. Yeah, Mocha. And for that, I'm using the NARS, what is it called? Contour brush, I believe. I don't know the name to it, but oh, I think it's Ida or Fida. Ida. I don't know. I have to put it down for you guys in the description box. But I just got this brush, so this is actually the first time I'm going to use it. And now for the blush, I'm going to be using the Milani Big Brush in number 2, Rose D Oro. And I'm going to be using that with a Sigma Powder Blush brush, yeah, F10. And for a highlight, I'm using the Balms Mary-Lou-manizer. And I'm just going to go ahead and use that with the Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35 that I used to set my under eye. So I'm going to use the NYX Butter Gloss, and this one's in Creme Brulee, number 5, BLG number 5. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tutorial. This is what the boxes look like for all the palettes, and like I said, there's 4 of them. The 2 palettes that I have is Mind and Soul. There's another one called Spirit, and I don't remember the name of the other one, but I will list it down below for you guys. I decided to get these 2 just because there was another one that was very similar to it. To Soul, there was another one that pretty much looked identical, and then there's another one, I want to say that one was called Spirit, and that's the colorful palette. I just didn't decide to go with that one because I feel that I have a palette similar to that one. So the palette that you guys saw, I used Mind, and that was an all matte palette, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that one since that's the one that I used today. So each palette comes with a little pamphlet like this, and they show you different makeup looks that you could create. And when you open it up, it has 3 different makeup looks, and it shows you step by step how to create them, so that's very handy for especially if you're a beginner. And this is what the case looks like for the Mind, and it has a mirror effect to it. And then in the back, it has the name of the palette, and then it has the name of all the eyeshadows. So when you open it up, each of the palettes comes with a little clear plastic paper, and this one, which comes in the Mind palette, it's a quote from Albert Einstein, and it says, "The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination." So each of the palettes come with a little plastic paper like this with the quote, and when you open it up, it has a big size, nice size mirror to apply your makeup, and it has like all my fingerprints on it. But then this is what the palette looks like. It's an all matte palette, like I said, and it has your warm and your cool tone shades. So that's what intrigued me about this palette, that it had all those shades mixed in one. If you guys are familiar with the Stila palettes, there are some shades that, like, half of these are in one palette and half of them are in another palette. So that's what intrigued me to get this one, because I just like that I could take this with me, like to go on a vacation or wherever, and I have all those colors that I naturally would use because they're just gorgeous natural warm shades. And when I went to Ulta to try this palette, honestly I wasn't impressed when I first swatched it. The palette does not swatch very great. It swatches kind of sheer. So like for example, I could show you guys a couple of them. Here are two of them, and when I go to put them on my back, if you can see, they don't swatch that great, that pigmented. So it is eyeshadows that you have to apply with a brush. You cannot apply these with the hand unless it is a shimmery eyeshadow, which I will get to when I get to the Soul palette. But I asked the girl inside of Ulta if she would let me use her makeup brush, and I was applying it with a brush, and you can see the difference big time when you apply it with the brush, and also when you use a primer. A primer helps them get that color, that pigmentation that you want from an eyeshadow. Of course, no matter what, you should always use an eyeshadow base to help your eyeshadows just stay all day long. But there's pretty much nothing else to say besides the fact that I think I found a new palette for my go-to makeup. Like I could just put this in my makeup bag and I could create so many makeup looks just with this palette alone. There is 12 eyeshadows in here, so you get a great variety of eyeshadows. And to compare these with the Naked palettes, the girl from Ulta let me know that you get way more product in these than you do with the Naked eyeshadows or the Naked palette eyeshadows. On the Naked palette, which I'm looking at right now, you get 12 eyeshadows and each has 0.05 US ounces. And then on these Stila eyeshadows, you get 0.51 ounces. So you get way more product, and for a couple bucks less. Each of these palettes retails at $49, and I got mine from Ulta. And when you go to swatch these eyeshadows, they are very dry. They have a dry feeling to them, so they're not smooth or creamy, nothing like that. They're very dry, and Stila is usually known for that, for dry eyeshadows. In my case, that's what I've always felt like when I've touched their eyeshadows. They feel dry, but they are very easy to blend, and it's a beautiful palette. I love the case, everything. I think it looks so nice and classy and elegant. So that was the Mine palette. And now moving on to the Soul palette. So this is what the little pamphlet on the Soul looks like. When you open it up, it has these 3 eyeshadow looks. And of course, it tells you the same thing. It tells you step by step how to create it. And then inside the pamphlet, it also tells you the name of the eyeshadows. And for this case, the Stila Soul one is more of a golden rose shade. The case in the front, well, the front look, it has a gold look to it, and then the S right here, they're like a rose gold, but then the back case is like a rose gold. So you get a gold and rose gold, a combination of both. And then of course it tells you the same thing. It says the name of the palette, the eyeshadow names. And when you open this one up, like I said, it has one of those little plastic paper, and then this one says is from Saint Augustine, and the quote is, "Since love grows with you, so beauty grows, for love is the beauty of the soul." So that goes perfectly with this palette since it's named Soul. And it has this exact same thing. It has a big mirror, and this is what the palette looks like. If you guys can see, this one is more of the cool tone palette, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matte shades, and then it has 7 shimmery eyeshadows. The matte ones feel exactly like the ones that do in the Mine palette. They're kind of dry, but they're very pigmented when used with a brush, and they blend easily and smoothly. And then the pigment colors, I will swatch a couple for you guys right here, are very pigmented. You guys can see those two. They're very pigmented eyeshadows. They blend easily. They're just smooth and they're gorgeous. They're shimmery but not too intense. So there's nothing bad that I could say about both palettes. They're both gorgeous, palettes, and I'll show you guys a comparison right next to each other. If you guys can see how gorgeous these palettes are, they're just so pretty. They're just palettes that I know that go with every skin tone out there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the swatches of both these palettes. I am going to be swatching them with a eyeshadow brush because it doesn't swatch great with your fingers. So I'm going to show you guys the true colors with a brush. So if you guys want to see how the eyeshadows swatch, then just keep watching. From the swatches, these eyeshadows are nicely pigmented. They're not like, what can I compare it to, like your Lorac? They're not that pigmented, like crazy pigmented, but these are nicely pigmented. They blend easily, they do the job, so they're nice. I think they're worth it. I think these two are my favorite ones from the whole palette. But overall, my final thoughts on these, I think these are kind of priced too much for what they are. But you do get more product than you do in the Naked palettes. So it's kind of fair in a way, since the Naked palettes kind of went up on their price since they first came out with the first one. So I don't know. It depends on what you want exactly, if you want to splurge on a Naked palette or on something like these, like the Stila ones, which are $49 like I said, and you get more product. So it just depends on your needs, and that's all I could tell you guys about them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review and mini tutorial on them, and I hope you guys let me know if you guys are going to try them out, and let me know which palette you guys saw and liked down below in the comment section. And if you guys want to see a look using both of these, I will have videos coming up with using both these palettes. I did use the Mine one right now, but I do want to create more looks with them, so keep an eye out for those. So that's it, you guys. So until the next one, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!